was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? And he told the guru, I want to be on the same level you on. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He liked the beach. I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. When he walks out into the water, it goes waist deep. So he like, this guy crazy. I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He came, dropped his head in, held him down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? I said, I wanted to breathe. He said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
So Kirby, I guess this is where people say it's important to watch the full video. I've never seen that part of this video with Eric Thomas. Always heard him say, you gotta want success as bad as you want to breathe, but explaining the story, I think, is crucial to understanding what he's actually talking about. The coach in this, or this guru, as he says in this story, was trying to make a point. It reminded me of that part in Rich Dad Poor Dad where his rich dad sent him to Peru to find a gold mine, and there was no gold mine. But he wanted to know, how bad you actually want it. So, I think the logic behind the meaning of, his intent was, trying to get him to see a bigger picture as to where you have to be in your mind when you want success. It's not just, oh, I want it, but I just want to fantasize about it. You gotta really want it. But I know this is your guy. I'll let you take the floor on this one.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said it best. I mean, seeing the whole video puts it in perspective. Every time I tell people to see that they want to breathe, they thinking is, oh, I'm breathing now, I'm good. Yeah, people think that they want to breathe, but they're breathing. They just thinking succeed as bad as you don't want to die. But the thing is, people are like, oh, well, I'm gonna die anyway. I'm ready for that. And then that's the mindset that they have behind it. But when he said succeed as you want to breathe, as if somebody's trying to drown you, think of the first thing that you're thinking of. I know people bitch, moan, and complain about us having a channel where we always talking about the mindset, and we just not talking about get to the money. The mindset is the money. The mindset itself is the money. Making the money part is easy, but having a mindset to keep generating and keep going after the fact. Like we always talk about how the word millionaire, decamillionaire, all that stuff is fancy words that sound good. It sounds good to people who don't have it. But the truth is, the only thing that I enjoy is the process. It's not because I got money sitting in the bank or I got this many rental properties and I can go say, oh man, I got all these rental properties. I only care about the process. Alex, you know me. Soon as you say, hey, I got a deal, and you be like, I'll close, I'll say, okay, now it's time to get to work. Because if you focus on the grind of just mentally doing it over and over again, the money gonna be there. The problem is people can't discipline themselves and want it bad enough so they can just keep doing it. People get comfortable real easy. People will see $5,000 in their bank account and they be like, oh, well, I can sit back and relax and chill. And then they turn it off and then they try to cut it back on when that $5,000 back down to $3.50. But the world has evolved and changed, and you trying to do it over. You trying to start back over at $3 instead of getting the 5,000 and say, okay, let me keep going. And now that 5,000 turned to 25,000, that 25,000 turned to 100,000, then that 100,000 turned to $1 million. But they get comfortable too easy. They always want to revert back to their old life. Their whole old life is the reason why they're clicking this video, because they don't understand how to get money and keep money. So they'll get some and then they'll revert right back to the things they do. We see it all the time. How many times have you seen family members or friends that get a lump sum of money, whether it's tax returns, whether it's a lawsuit, whether it's back pay for anything or signing bonus, and then they just go blow it. And then they back or in a worse condition they was before they got the bonus.
Yeah,
that's the point right there. It's because people get comfortable too fast. What you got?
No, I was smiling because what you said about, people hit that $5,000 mark or they hit some kind of savings and then they get comfortable and then it dwindles down. I was like, man, that's my mom right there. The savings aspect, because most people, I don't think they believe in themselves to push further. And so their concept of what someone who is wealthy or rich comes from luck, comes from being born into that. It doesn't come from, the ability of your own will to get there. And so they think like they'll never be there. They'll never strive or they'll never reach it. And so when they hit, a certain dollar amount, they're like, okay, this is good enough. I'm comfortable here. Because in the back of their mind, they don't think they can go even further. And if you have that mindset, which majority of people do, I mean, the only one really holding you back is yourself. And so people have to get out of that mindset and look at the traits and the actions of what these wealthy people who didn't have it to start with, how they got there. And if you copy those traits, you yourself can get there. But you have to see that those same people wanted it as bad as they wanted to breathe. I mean, just looking at the sacrifices that these people made, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, these guys, they wanted it. I mean, Elon Musk talks about living in an office for 2 years and sleeping on a couch, rotating shifts with his brother. The concept that, you want to just be comfortable, you're just delaying yourself and getting into financial success. The mentality, like you said, it is what makes you the money, or it is what makes you wealthy.
And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep.
E.T. said it best. I think he hit it home. He's a great speaker. He's a great motivational speaker. I see it all the time. Like me, Alex, I'm grinding. I'm looking for deals. I'm looking for the next stock. I'm looking for the next business. I'm looking for whatever. And then I'll get people that's supposed to say they on that like-minded path. The people that's, they say, hey, I want it bad. I want it bad. I want to know this. Me, I'm texting them information on how to make money. They sending me text messages on the next battle rap. They sending me the next TikTok trend. They sending me videos on what else going on. It's things that don't have nothing to do with money. No matter how far successful people think that I've made it, I'm still that same guy that's on Eileen in Detroit, Michigan. I still have that mindset. I'm still trying to get out of there. And I don't turn that mindset off no matter what. That's what I say. I enjoy the process. Like, I remember back when I played football. The games was the easiest part. But I enjoyed the practice of going through it, to implementing the strategies, to putting in the work over and over again, repetition, doing it over and over again. I love that aspect of it, because I knew once I did it, it would be easier. I mean, Alex, when we got into real estate, oh my God, I mean, when you got into real estate, but you remember how that first deal, I'm coming at you from one side, the realtor coming at you from one side, the broker coming at you from one side, and I'm like, keep going through the process, you will find a headache, and I'm like, keep going through the process, keep going through it. And then how hard that first deal was, now you're just knocking them out the park over and over again, because you have the repetition of keep doing it. That's the part I enjoy. Like, once I close on a deal, this is literally close on a deal, I hand that thing off. Once I got the property management set up, yada yada yada, all that stuff, I pass that thing off and I don't even worry about it, because I want to get right back into the grind to do it again. I love the art of negotiation. I love figuring out ways to do stuff. I love adding twos to my two bag, like Michael Zuber said. Like, when I first started real estate, I thought the only way you could buy real estate is, I got to come up with 25%. The only way I could do it is beg a bank to loan me the money. So then I just kept adding twos to the two bag. Then I come to find out it's things like non-QM lenders. I find out things like it's subject to. Then I find out things that you got seller finance. Then you got assumption. Then you got all these other avenues that you can do to acquire. But that's part of the process. And that's the part that I want to keep going in. I want to keep pretending that the guru is drowning me every time, and I still want to breathe. I don't ever want to sit here and be comfortable. My wife and my kids, they can be comfortable. That's who I do it for. I don't do it for me. But what you got about the second video?
The second video, obviously, this is the one that I've always seen. This is the one that you always sent me. But it just goes back to, he's speaking to, the mindset that you have to have. And I remember, that first deal, and I'm getting to the point now where, like you say, it's the same mindset I'm having now, where it's get the deal and pass it off and move to the next one. But that, like you said, with repetition, it builds experience, it builds knowledge. The more deals you do, the more that you are proficient at it, it comes like secondhand. Like, it's not like a complicated puzzle you're trying to solve anymore. In order to push through those barriers, you have to want it. And I mean, I remember on that first deal, I wanted it bad. I was nervous. I told Kirby I felt like I was taking crack. But I mean, and that's how I felt. I mean, my nervous system was methamphetamine level. So, I mean, I was there. But once you get through that anxiety, get through that fear, then from there it's just you start to feel like you can take on anything. So, but you have to push through that initial phase, just get right through it.
Right. When Ichi said people don't want it bad enough as they want to, go to the club. They don't want it bad enough as they want to sleep. I didn't hear people tell me, oh man, when do you sleep? Oh man, why you don't go out to the club? It's funny to me that people with no money want to tell me what to do with my money. How about you get the money first, then you can talk about what to do with it. Don't give me financial advice when you have no finances to back it up with the advice that you give. Do I have fun? Do I hang out with the family? Yeah. But do I call up the people from my old life and be like, hey man, let's go out? I know 99% if I'm asking them to go out, they're going to think it's all on me. Because the thing is, people can't divorce themselves from the old life that they had. My goal is to excel way further than where I came from. And I think Ray Lewis said it best on this last video.
If an eagle ever sees a bird flying at the same altitude that he's flying at, it must be another eagle. Must be another eagle. Because pigeons don't fly at the altitudes of eagles. And if you find yourself flying with pigeons, you may be flying too low. So you show me your crowd, I'll show you your future.
Yeah, this video, I love his comparison between eagles and pigeons. If you bring yourself to a lower level on where, the majority of the crowd is at, that is where you are not going to be on that same road to success. I mean, everyone, like crabs in a barrel, are going to pull you down. And you have to push through getting away from those people the same way that we reacted to that video on Snoop Dogg, where you got to close the gap. But the way you want to close the gap is those people, those pigeons, come to your level. You don't want to be the one to come down to their level.
I got a different mindset from that last one. What I got from it is, if an eagle sees somebody flying at his level, the only thing else is an eagle. If you find, but everything that flies lower than an eagle is a pigeon. I get that's the mindset you want to do. You want to fly high as possible to leave everything else behind. But how did the eagle get to the same level of the pigeon? Because they got comfortable. They got comfortable and they were just flying, and they didn't realize, oh, I'm higher than them. And then, like you said, the crabs in the barrel. The next thing you know, you flying at the same level as pigeon, because you just thinking you flying better than them, but you don't realize they didn't drop their altitude and they not doing nothing else because you get lulled to sleep. That's why I say always focus on the grind, always want it, always just thinking of that mindset keeps you there.
If you like the video, hit the like button, guys. Don't forget to send us more content. Share this video, subscribe, get us to 3K, but we'll see you guys on the next video.